Howdy, howdy, this is Nine Souls, a game very near and dear to my heart ever since I started playing it at the start of the year when I got extremely sick. Quick little trick there is a moon jump, saves like half a second or so. All you do is you hit the jump button at the start of that cutscene there, and upon doing that you will move further forward. The enemy will not have to move quite as far to the left, and the cutscene will get to start a little bit earlier. Really minor time save. I still like to do it because it's right at the beginning of the run, so resetting for it is really easy. Just a nice simple thing that you can do. So the main way we're going to be moving around here is through dashing and jumping. The reason we do this is because we are canceling our dash with our jump. This lets us maintain a little bit of the momentum from the dash during the jump. Additionally, every time we land from midair, we do get our dash back. I was trying to show it off there with the staircase, but then I remembered I'm not supposed to show it off there. This is a better staircase to show it off with. Goes a little bit faster when you're going uphill. It's a little bit worse when you're going downhill, but that's all you really need to know about that. I do like to ram into this thing now because I've gotten sick of trying to avoid it because it is just really annoying, and it's normally not worth the half second of sanity loss every time you mess that up. So this game has unskippable cutscenes, so I am stuck here watching this cutscene. It's not a super long one, but it is still pretty annoying. That is also the reason that our game starts at 7 minutes and 5 seconds. That is because we do not want to play through the beginning 6 minutes of cutscenes for the 1 minute of gameplay that is before that point, especially because the gameplay is pretty minimal. It's just like climbing up this one rope and stabbing a enemy that doesn't fight back a few times. And you're like, you've done it. You've shown that you know how to walk and climb and stuff. Alright, here's our first little combat that we're going to be doing. Hopefully our RNG goes well here with this bottom guy. He seems to be behaving himself. I've actually never seen what just happened there, where we both phased through each other and neither of us hit each other. That was pretty weird. Let's see. I did not miss any money. I did miss that parry. I did get an imperfect parry there. As you can see, it did give me a little bit of red health that just finished healing up. When you parry, there are perfect parries and imperfect parries. A imperfect parry does damage to you, but other than that, it has most of the same benefits of a parry. A perfect parry doesn't do damage to you. Should be noted it's not real damage, it's internal damage, which can heal if you don't get hit or do any more imperfect parries for a while. But the main thing here is just that a perfect parry mostly just is good because it lets you move faster than an imperfect parry, so you can like cancel a perfect parry into other things. Like if I was getting imperfect parries, I wouldn't have time to do those talismans there. You do have to hold down the talisman button to actually do a lot of damage with it. You can apply a talisman, which just simply does a little bit of stuff. It does like just the initial internal damage, but it doesn't do any of the extra damage. So I did do a little bit of a speedrun trick there, which was called slow-mo skip. So my goal was to kill that guy on the left side of the elevator for one, which I did accomplish by manipulating his AI a little bit. And the other thing I was trying to do was kill him specifically with the third hit of a 3-hit combo. And the reason I like to kill with the third hit of a 3-hit combo is, one, it's easier to kill with the third hit of a 3-hit combo because it has like a little hidden mechanic where it does bonus damage if it should kill. Or if it almost kills, should be stated. But the real reason is because it's so easy to cancel the third hit of your combo. And when I cancel my third hit of that combo with a jump into a slash on him, and that causes me to skip the slow motion that normally happens when you kill a boss, which saves a few seconds. Because when you kill a boss, it goes all black, and then the boss is a white silhouette that's like exploding into a little bit of blood and stuff, and that's cool and all. Like, it's really visually neat. I like it, but in a speedrun, it does not slow down my timer, it just slows down my game, so I want to try to glitch that speedrun, or that slowdown out. and we can do that by hitting them during the slowdown, and as far as I know, that's the fastest way to hit after the 3-hit combo. Sun Tzu was telling me you could do it after a talisman, but I've never had good luck with that, so I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong, but maybe I'll look at that again at some point. So we just got a little upgrade here. It's called the Mystic Nymph. It's probably the least exciting upgrade we get in the run. It is this little fish butterfly creature, and it allows me to hack these little red diamond nodes to do various things. It's going to mostly just open doors. We did turn on this giant gross brain Pokeball just now, Ruyi here. But other than that, I think it only gets used for opening doors the rest of the run, unless I screw something up, in which case it might be used for something else, like lowering a rope or something. But I don't think I have to lower any ropes normally, as long as I don't mess anything up. So we'll see how that goes. Also, right here, Rui is going to be fixing our Jade system. The Jade system will allow me to equip Jades. Surprise, surprise. Real hard to guess that, but yes, we can now equip Jades. Jades are very similar to Charms and Hollow Knight, or Badges in Paper Mario, or whatever random analogy you want to make with a game, because it's in a whole lot of games nowadays. Here's our adopted ape-man child, Sean. He has found us. He is going to be staying in our house from now on. I like this cutscene, not because of any of the contents of it, but I like that he doesn't ask me any questions, and he does not give me any items, which allows me to go through that cutscene a little bit faster than some other cutscenes. The reason for that is because when a cutscene asks you a question, that makes you make a dialogue choice, or if any animations tend to play, or if you get an item, you tend to have to time your button presses a little bit to be more optimal, which is pretty annoying. You're going to see that a little bit here after we have now entered this realm between realms, as we've been absorbed by the roots, or Fusang as they are called in this game, to talk to Lear, and he's going to do both of those things I don't want to have happen. He's a mythical figure in our Fangshi clan life. But yes, that was him asking a question, and now he's going to give me this little horn. Also, he's kind of jacked. I am very curious if Yi would look similar to Lear if he was able to actually grow up instead of getting kind of stuck in this child body forever. Like, he is an adult, but he is a real small boy. He's a real small boy due to some accidents that happened as a child. Alright, so we have almost finished all of these unskippable cutscenes. This is always the most painful part of any Nine Souls speedrun. This is in all of the categories of Nine Souls speedruns. You just have to deal with this. Just a whole lot of cutscenes. This is the last one. Thank goodness we can finally move forward. Gonna do a little trick on the staircase where I can phase through the bottom of the staircase while having dash momentum to land back on top of the staircase, allowing me to dash a little bit faster than normal. That's like the only staircase in the entire game you can do that on, so that trick's done with. That's not happening anymore in the run. Done with that forever, just like the moon jump. Those are both gone. Oh yeah, you can also do this thing. I need to practice this a little bit because I'm going to need it later. This is a specific way of moving that I need to do at a much later point in the game, because I can activate a glitch with this when I have ledge storage, which ledge storage is tricking the game into thinking I'm on a ledge when I'm not. We're not going to be doing that quite yet, but we are going to be doing rope storage at the end of this elevator, which is similar. It's going to be tricking the game into thinking we're on a rope that we're not. We're going to do that by having this guy land on our head as we climb onto it. Perfect. I do this part on keyboard, so sorry input watchers, you won't be able to see my inputs here, but I'm holding down is the main thing to know. And then I let go of down and do that. So the way that works is we trick the game into thinking we're on that rope. So the game saves our X position as on that rope, so anytime we try to climb, it will immediately put us on a rope at that X position. But it doesn't know where our Y position on the rope is, so it just makes the rope infinitely long and also just keeps our Y position the same. So this allows us to essentially teleport to areas on, like, anything lined up with the rope in a vertical line, we can then teleport to. Okay, oh wow, that lost a lot more time than I thought. That was something I was trying there. I wanted to know if landing on that ledge and dashing was faster. Maybe, but you have to be more careful about that. So oopsie doopsie. That's going to be a bit of a time loss right there. Probably 5 or so seconds because of it sending me back further than I thought it was going to send me. The game doesn't like spawning you on corners. I did do a little bit of a speedrun trick right there, where I hit that guy in the back at the start of this cutscene, which causes him to skip, or at the start of this tutorial, causes him to skip 1/3 of the tutorial. So he's showing us our new ability, Tai Chi Kick. It allows us to interact with those green orbs we were interacting with earlier, and also allows us to interact with enemies when they glow green. Makes our air parry a hitbox to green enemies, so that we can bounce off them, get key, stun them, and do internal damage that we can then later detonate with our talismans. So whoopsie doopsie, probably lost 5 seconds or so messing up there. So the aforementioned ledge storage I mentioned earlier is going to be used in a quick moment here. I should mention that rope storage can be lost if you touch a rope or if you leave the room. So our rope storage is gone because we left the room to go in that tutorial. Ledge storage doesn't work quite the same way. We did that slash and then canceled with a talisman, because that's all we have to cancel it with right now when I grab that ledge. So now the game thinks I'm on that ledge. Ledge storage does not go away when you change rooms, and the ledge storage instead goes away when you get hit, when you swing your sword without canceling the animation, when you parry without canceling the animation, or when you grab a ledge. So we're going to have to be careful about that. We are going to swing our sword here, so we are going to cancel it with a jump really quickly so that we still have our ledge storage. I can tell I still have it by doing that little animation there. And we're going to go for a extremely difficult trick here called Hell Hack Skip. It is a 1-frame vault where I essentially jump off of the ledge I'm hanging on to midair. 4, 5, jump. I'm trying. And we missed it. It's a really hard jump. If you time it slightly too late, you don't lose it, which is why I could keep trying. But if you do it slightly too early, you fail. And I did eventually do it too early. I could not quite get that 1-frame window there. So that's going to lose a whole lot of time. But this is just a demonstration. We did save a little bit of time with that coyote jump. The coyote jump is quite difficult to do normally. And good, we did get the good RNG for that. If you get the coyote jump, you do want that enemy to run away from you, and if you don't get the coyote jump, you don't want that enemy to run away from you. So the RNG there depends on whether you hit the coyote jump. The coyote jump saves probably like 2 seconds or so, because it means I don't have to mess with trying to get another key, as I do need a talisman going into this next area. Also, here's our first hang cutscene, where we talk to our sister here. Going to be quiet for just a brief moment. Mostly just because I love the sound effect of Hisu Banan. It really reminds me of like an Age of Empire Age of Empire 2 villager, where you're just telling them to like go get some wood or something. Feel like I'm just gonna click on them and they're gonna be like, "Oi!" They're like, "Oh, nice. Go get me some lumber. Go murder that sheep." Just, I love Age of Empires 2 a whole lot. It's a very good game. I'm not any good at it, but I love the game. Anyway, right here we're going to be doing another coyote jump. This one into a talisman right here. If you get lucky, that archer tries to shoot you on the rope at the correct time, and then you can parry it. And then you can do this part without going over the top. You can go down the bottom, which is a little bit faster. It's a pretty minor deal, but it's a little sad to see that I've had... Well, I guess most of this wasn't RNG. This was actually just a skill issue situation. I just couldn't hit prison skip there. or not prison skip, hell hack skip. Hell hack skip is just one of the hardest skips in the entire run. It saves 10 or so seconds. With how long it took me, it probably wouldn't have saved any seconds, but I still missed it, which was sad. And had to instead do hell hack, where I just hacked the door in front of all those enemies. So this cutscene's a little interesting. This is one of the weird cutscenes in the game where you can move before this cutscene is actually over. So once I see the save icon in the corner, I can start moving. I'm gonna hold the direction because I can do that. And I just start dashing once I see it. And this is another arena fight that has a little bit of RNG and could save or lose a bunch of time, depending on how it goes. But yeah, we probably lost 15 to 20 seconds there, so we're probably like 20 seconds behind right now, which is a little sad, but we can make that up. 1, 2, hit. 1, 2, dodge. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Not the greatest. You want them to line up a little better. Yeah, we're like 25 seconds behind. Feels bad, but it is okay. This first, why is that happening lately? I think I know why that's happening, actually. I think if I hit that button on the one side, I turn around automatically, which is making me whiff my parry. I think that's what's happening there. So right here, we're going to be doing our first little, how to call it, level up. Get our key boost. Gives us 1 extra talisman to work with. So now we can hold a maximum of 2 talismans. Side note, this is our first boss of the run. This is the normal first boss you would fight when you play this game. We are not actually going to fight him yet, though. We do have to fight this boss, as the category does require us to fight all bosses. Well, all main bosses. But this specific boss is a little weird, and we're not going to be fighting him yet, because they forgot to put a door on the back of this boss fight. So we're actually just going to run right past this guy and talk to Kwafu here. Whereas I often call him Garfield because it's just easier to say. Also, I think I have his name misspelled in my splits still. I think my splits still say Kofu instead of Kwafu. So, whoopsie. I should probably fix that someday. So, Kwafu here talks for quite a while. This is a very good time to answer questions and such, as Kwafu just does not shut up anytime soon. It's one of the longer cutscenes in this game for sure. I like to do a little bit of stretching here as I hold down the button. Unfortunately, you can't like really do anything here because you do have to hold down the button in these type of cutscenes. Only the actual animated cutscenes do you get to get up if you want to, which this is not one of. So yeah, looking like we're about 25 seconds behind or so, if I had to guess. I'm not 100% sure. We were at 46, and I think it takes around a minute to get through here. This is Kwafu's Soulscape. We get to see little memories and dreams of Kwafu. If you click the A button or the interact button, if on any of these, you will get like a little line of dialogue that gives you a little bit more context of what you're looking at. But we're not going to do that because we're in a speed run. The only one we're going to click on is this final one, because it's how we get out of here. Yeah, there goes all of our time from missing Hell Hack Skip, and falling in that pit and Tai Chi kick also wasn't great. Do our little Naruto jutsu here to grab this seal. So we can get out of here and continue on with our path. So we're going to be going back to a familiar area that we were in earlier. Yeah, we're about 25 seconds behind. There we go. So we're going to go back to the area we fought Bai Chang here. This is the same elevator This elevator actually can go to 4 different floors. I don't actually remember which are the 4 different floors, because I feel like one of the floors we never go to. So I don't remember what that floor is. But this time we're going to go this way because we have Tai Chi Kick now. We can interact with these orbs. We're going to do another ledge storage related glitch here, called a ledge float. If that guy hits you, you have to do a little parry and then do a talisman to make the gap. If he doesn't hit you, you can just float the whole way if you want. I would recommend floating until you get to the second box, landing on it and dashing off of it, because floating is just kind of slow. Either way, it's not a huge deal. You lose like 1 second if you don't do what I'm talking about, so it's pretty minor. Oops. I forgot to grab that chest down there, so I'm going to grab a different chest instead. Normally I would grab the chest that is to the bottom right of me right now, but instead I can make that up with any other small chest like that. And I'm just going to have to remember to grab the Lake Lauchi one. So we're gonna hope that this enemy is cooperative. He can be a huge jerk sometimes. Like, it looks like he's gonna be a huge jerk here. So we're probably gonna lose another 20 seconds due to RNG, because that guy's gonna fade through the roof. Yep. Very unlucky run here, but I guess we're getting to see all of the worst RNG you can possibly get here. Probably a good, probably good to see this, just so that you can know exactly how slow the run can be if you're doing it as slowly as possible. So we had to just go to that save so we can respawn one of these enemies, because we need these enemies to do a trick here. Gonna do another rope storage. This is static rope storage. It works the same as the other rope storage, except we do a little trick to land here. I didn't normally I would do a high jump trick there, but I messed up, and it would just be slower at that point to undo it. I climbed on that rope to remove rope storage, so it's easier to move through this area. And we are simply going to go through this area this way. This is actually backwards. Normally you would come through this area from this side with air dash, and that's how you're supposed to get through that zone. But we are going to use talismans to pseudo have air dash, and then use that rope storage to glitch on up there so that we can get up here a little bit early. So I'm actually curious how much time you do lose for having to reset that enemy. I know it's a lot, but is it like 20 seconds or is it like 15, 10? I don't know. It's definitely a good amount of time you lose though when that enemy phases through the roof. It is a very unfortunate situation. I think it isn't fully RNG, it's like related to how you move through the area, but apparently the way I move through the area causes that to happen a decent amount. I'm thinking maybe I should purposely slow myself down in the area to like lower the chance of that happening. Because I think you can kind of manipulate where he is if you like change how you move a little bit there. So yeah, it looks like we 10 seconds lost, so probably like 15 seconds that you lose when you have that guy phase through the roof. I thought it was closer to 20, so I mean that's good to know that it's not quite as bad as I thought it was. So now we have air dash. This allows us to move dramatically faster, and it's going to really change the way I move around in a lot of different ways. So before I was just doing a dash into a jump. Now I'm going to be doing a jump into a dash into a parry. And that is the second fastest way to move when you have air dash. The fastest way to move is a jump into a dash into a slash, but because the slash has a cooldown to it, it tends to be kind of ineffective a lot of the time, and also kind of annoying to do the jump dash slash. And the jump dash words, the jump dash slash is only 1 frame faster than the jump dash parry, which is called swag dashing. So that's going to be mostly what we do. All right, this next split is pretty short. It's basically just that room we went through, and then we're just going to warp back quickly here. using our Fusang horn that we got from Lear earlier. This is one of the only times this horn actually gets used, because due to some situations that happen in our run, we actually end up breaking this horn and then not fixing it, because we skip the cutscene that fixes it. So it's actually funny that that elevator goes exactly where I want to go, but it's still faster to not take that elevator and to just run all the way outside, grapple up, and then run over and talk to Garfield here, who's being a little bit racist towards our adopted ape-man child. He's not a big fan, but he's gonna hopefully get over that as we continue throughout this game, become better friends. We upgrade our arrows so that we have 3 arrows now. So we needed 3 arrows and air dash to do a really annoying jump that's coming up, called elevator skip. We are not there yet. We still have quite a bit to go. Well, not quite a bit, just 1 or 2 rooms really. It might even be 1 room. I think this is all just 1 room. It's a very big room though. It's very long. So we are going to grab a few more chests. We do have to remember to grab 1 extra chest here. So we would grab these 2 chests normally. And normally I wouldn't grab this chest, but we are going to grab it because we accidentally skipped a chest earlier. So I am going to grab that one to make up for my mistake. So right here, we're going to do another ledge storage vault situation. Just grab ledge storage right there, cancel that so that we don't lose ledge storage, and then we vault on up here. This is to go around an NPC who wants to talk to us and give us an item. We don't need that item, so we are going to ignore him. It looks like we are going to have 853 Jin, which is good. We need at least 851 Jin to not have to do anything. And we can make up a little bit by punching background objects and such. Doing the bow float here, very similar to the earlier float you saw in the run, where I did a parry float. This one works by just jumping and using the bow, though. It's really easy. You have to be low to the ground when doing it, though, which is very important, because we are going to want to hit a very high float in the next room, which is annoying because if you go too high, you immediately screw up. And if you go too low, that's also very bad. It makes the jump really hard and sometimes impossible, depending on how low you go. So we need our 3 arrows, which is why we grabbed that arrow refill there. And we need our air dash. We're also going to be using a ledge storage float and a vault. Or no, we're going to use a bow float, a ledge storage vault, and our talisman, our air dash, and all of our arrows to attempt to make a very big jump over a cutscene here, where this would normally be the boss trapping us in a thing and sending us to this like downward area. Okay, that's a pretty good float. It's not the highest it can be, but it's pretty good. Vault, talisman, dash, bow, grab ledge. Okay, perfect. I was a little slow on some of those inputs, but still had the distance I needed. So now we are in an area we shouldn't be yet. This is much later area in the game. But what we're going to do here is we are going to essentially enter the boss fight from the wrong direction, because this area does connect to the second boss. So we are going to just enter her zone backwards here. We're going to open this chest because we need the item out of it, but we're actually going to pick up the item later and not now. And that is going to be because it is required to do it that way to reset a checkpoint that the game makes for us. So essentially, entering here is going to cause a soft checkpoint at this area. Also, fun interaction that we are once again going into here without fighting the boss, and it's also pretty funny that we now get to see the boss's sad backstory even though we have not even met them. This is Gobang. This is going to be the boss that we are going to fight in just a moment. Normally you would do this after fighting the boss, but we're going to do it before fighting the boss, because going into any of these soulscape areas does refill all of our health, potions, and arrows, and to do a fast boss, we need our arrows for this boss. So we do need 3 arrows, which is another reason we grabbed the 3 arrows. And a final reason we grabbed the 3 arrows is having 3 arrows is going to allow us to break certain walls from the wrong direction, which happens, I think, only once, but it is still useful. It does save us a lot of time there. Thank you for the seal, Gomang. Gomang is a rival to us, a fellow student to our teacher Agong, who murdered us at the start of the game, that we are not overly happy about as we go and kill all of our colleagues and sensei. Hello, Gomang. I do not love... I really dislike the dialogue here, not because of what is said in the dialogue, but this is a similar situation to the Shan dialogue earlier, where this is the opposite. The Shan dialogue I like because I don't have to do any weird button presses. I dislike this dialogue because I have to do a lot of weird button presses, and there's only like 2 cutscenes in the game that are like this. Gomang's and Gichuan's, I believe. Specifically the Gichuan prison cutscene, and not the actual fight with Gichuan. Yes, yes. Send your slaves to fight me, Gomang. We're gonna focus on the big one. The way this boss works is she's only hittable when she's reviving one of the zombie soldiers. So we are going to just focus on the big one because he is just easier to hit because he doesn't move as much. Okay, if you're high in the air, he won't mess with you. So 3 arrow, 3 arrow, 3 arrow. 1, 2 talisman, 1, 2, 3, 4 talisman. If you want to make that easier to remember the numbers, you could just do 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. The point is, you just have to hit her 15 times and detonate. You have to hit her with 3 arrows, 15 slashes, and a total of 2 key charges worth of talisman will kill her. That does like exactly enough HP to kill this boss, which is pretty cool. And it utilizes the final blow mechanic to be able to do that, because if you actually do the math, it doesn't make any sense, which is why this trick confused me when I found it, because I was doing the math and being like, why is she dying? She should have more health than this if the wiki is to be believed. But then once I brought it up to people, we figured out that it was related to a hidden mechanic in the game called Final Blow, where if you hit a boss with a finishing move, like a talisman or the 3rd hit of your 3-hit combo, the game will check if 50% more damage would have killed the boss, and if 50% more damage would have killed the boss on that final hit, the boss just dies. And that is how she dies there, because that does not quite do enough damage to kill her, but with the final blow mechanic added into it, it does do just enough damage to kill her. Anyway, hello, Kwafu. I am going to need your Cloud Piercer arrows. The reason we are buying this upgrade is, 1, it makes our arrows do more damage, but that is the least important part of why we're buying this upgrade. The most important reason we're buying this upgrade is because it gives our arrows the piercing ability that would normally be only on charge attack. So charge attack is a move that I should have right now, but I do not, because I skipped it. It should have been an ability I got in Gomang's area, but we didn't do any of Gomang's area for the most part, so we don't have it. Ooh, nice. Free talisman. I actually really like that. So we're upcoming to one of the hardest jumps in the entire game of just pretty much any category, really. This jump really sucks. This is Outer Warehouse Skip. It has multiple frame perfect inputs here. I think I'm slashing too early. Turn around too late. Turn around too late. Turn around too late. I think it's actually too early because it's not buffering. Slash too early. There we go. I am going to kill this guy because he's really annoying. Dude, could you just come down here so I can kill you? I need to do this one more time. So this is a wall slide. The first one was also a wall slide, but the momentum was so low you couldn't tell it was a wall slide, so I just jump off immediately. And now we're going to go up here. So it looks like we got a pretty lousy cycle here. This is pretty much the worst cycle you can end up with, which I don't love. Gonna use our talismans to get through this a little bit faster. Definitely lost time over world record, which gets through that area a lot faster than I did. But that jump is really difficult, so I'm not surprised that that happened. Normally I get it a little faster than that, but I think I was just a little bit overthinking it. Well, maybe underthinking it was actually the problem, because I was just not really thinking about my slash timing very well, I think. I think. But I think that's what I was messing up. I think it was just a slash timing problem mostly. Got the bad RNG here, so we got to club that guy in the head. Loses 2 seconds if you get the bad RNG. So it's not a big deal. Going to then run over here. Ow. Okay, we have 1 talisman. So that means we have to do the 1 talisman version of our inner warehouse skip when we get over there. We are getting into my favorite cutscene of the game. I call this the pickle jar cutscene. It's another hang cutscene. This is another one of these good times to talk or ask questions or anything like that. So this cutscene is my favorite of these cutscenes because I just love the animation of Hang climbing into the pickle jar. And also she has a pretty great sound effect once she gets in the pickle jar, which is pretty great. I'll let you guys hear that once we're near it. But she does have to climb in first. I really love the animations in this game a whole heck of a lot. I love basically everything about this game. I think it's, well, we'll talk about that in a moment. About to get the bleh. But yes, as I was trying to say, I love basically everything in this game. This game is fantastic. I consider this game a 10 out of 10. Obviously, I'm a bit biased. I do consider this game to be more of a 9 out of 10 when it comes to speed running. This game has a few issues with speed running. The main issue is what we're seeing right now, which is just the unskippable cutscenes. This is really the vast majority of what I don't like about speedrunning this game. There's a few kind of obnoxious RNG sections, but they're pretty few and far between, honestly, and most of the RNG isn't, like, massive. It's normally pretty small, so it's not terrible or anything. But the unskippable cutscenes, I can't give a 10 out of 10 to any game with unskippable cutscenes when it comes to speedrunning. You just end up seeing these cutscenes way too many times, and it's very frustrating when you have to reset a run and watch like 7 more minutes of cutscenes at the beginning of the game. Really sucks to deal with. Alright, so this is the one room in the game I play on keyboard. So I am going to switch to keyboard right here. Going to be doing a quick rope storage. Hit this guy to get his attention. I need him to hit me to activate my rope storage. Fast rope climb. Wow, wait, what? How did I get in front of that? I've never seen that happen, actually. I was pretty sure you needed to do both fast rope climbs to get that cycle. Alright, let's try to do this. Dash, bam, bam, bam. Good. I'm not sure if I could have done that in time. Ow. I timed that too slowly. There we go. So if you get hit at like the same time that you do a dash, it counts as you getting hit but not doing any damage to you. And well, it actually doesn't count as you being hit. But it gives you the invincibility frames as if you were hit, and it plays the sound effect. So you can do that to gain invincibility frames to fall through that laser instead of getting pushed out of it. We have 2 arrows, so I'm just going to skip that node. If we have 2 to 3 arrows, I skip that node, and if I have less than 2 arrows, I hit that node. Or if I'm like really, really messed up. But I'm just gonna take a quick potion here to heal up the full. We are going to start my least favorite boss fight in the entire game. This is not a main boss, so if we ever found a way to skip this idiot, we could, which would be probably great, although the skip would probably end up being horrible. But who knows, maybe there's some random routing way we could finally get past this idiot without having to fight him, because I hate this guy. He sucks. He's really annoying. He only has 2 moves, and he has technically a 3rd move, but his 3rd move is to just heal himself, which is, you know, the most fun boss mechanic ever. I really love bosses that just sit there and heal themselves, wasting my time. You can cancel it by charge attacking him, talismaning him, or bowing him. My options are only talisman and bow though right now. Ooh. Ugh. Okay, not bad actually. We definitely lost time because of Outer Warehouse, but that Zing Tian fight was actually pretty good for me. I actually have a lot of trouble with that boss, despite how stupid and easy he is. I'm actually just going to grab this node for safety reasons. Also, I like having the arrows for Yan Lao. I don't think it's actually a large time loss to grab this node, and in fact, every time I haven't grabbed this node, I've had a large time loss here, even when I play it like normally, so I don't know if that's because I've just gotten really bad RNG on Yan Lao when I don't grab the node or what, but I don't know. It's been better for me to grab the node than to not grab it. As Yan Lao wastes our time here with this relatively long cutscene, mostly just because he has to sit there sweating too much. Fun fact, I did not realize that all the characters in this game were cats when I originally played this game casually. I thought this guy was a mosquito. I think his mustache looks a lot like a beak to me, like a mosquito beak. And I also thought, because Gomang was like this weird harpy cat lady, that was like a weird thing. I thought Yi was a fox, just based on like box art, and also because Yan Lao calls you a fox at one point, so that didn't help my confusion. I do realize now that he was obviously just talking in a metaphorical sense. But at the time, I did not realize that. Thought he was kind of making a pun and talking metaphorically, but I guess it was only metaphorically. Yes, Yan Lao, you have shot my robot. So this is the Boundless Repository. I like to call this area the Gun Maze. It is also home of one of the only tricks I am not going to go for at all, because it's insane. And nobody does it right now, and it saves 10 seconds, and it's super difficult and practically RNG. So it's not a very fun trick to go for. I'm gonna kill this archer for a little bit of XP, seeing I'm waiting for this gun anyway. I can't get through that box without Yan Lao's help. If you don't want to kill that archer, it's actually better to set... Wait, what the heck? How did that guy die? Huh. That was weird. Never seen that happen. Ooh, I might get shot here. Nope, good. Okay, so we want to get shot here. Okay, good. So that was us setting up rope storage. Once again, we always just need to get hit to set that up. We're going to use the rope storage to teleport around. This is not the most efficient way of doing it, but this is the way I do it. There is a slightly faster way of doing this where you teleport right up to here. But I like this one. This one's fine with me. It barely loses any time, because all the time that I'm spending like running one direction, you would spend running a different direction if you were doing the other trick anyway. So once again, good time to heal up. We're gonna go into this boss fight with a little bit low HP comparatively. Basically, we're gonna be mostly pushing. If you run to the left here, you can open a shortcut, and in a marathon, I would probably open that shortcut, but I am just going to head forward because this boss is very easy, and I am not really worried about dying to them. But in a marathon, I would probably open that because, you know, just in case. But seeing this is just simply a recording, and this guy is pretty much the easiest boss in the run, that I am just going to go in here. I'm allowed to get hit like once before I have to heal, and then I can get hit like one more time. This guy, he's really easy to avoid, and his attacks are really easy to read, but he is really high damage. Like, he does very high damage. Also, yes, the boss fight here is a giant claw machine. That is what we are going to be fighting, the sky-rending claw, as it is called. The claw must be destroyed. This boss is kind of annoying to optimize because he's just has weird hitboxes, and this is kind of a boring boss, if I'm going to be completely honest. So I am going to focus, though, because getting hit is super bad on this boss, even if he is pretty easy. Like right there, I got an internal parry, which isn't great. So that move he's doing right there is a grab. It's one of, I think, only 2 grab attacks in the entire game. Doesn't really matter that it's a grab, but it's just kind of interesting that he is one of the bosses with a grab. The other boss, being the final boss of the game, has a grab attack, which is quite scary. Optimally, what I should have done there is purposely jump into that attack and parry it, but I did not, so whoopsie on me. Almost done with this first phase. If I shot him with a bow, I might have been able to get him the transition there. But I wasn't overly sure about it. I like to use my bows in this phase. Ow. Take a quick heal. Just in case. Want to play safe. Oof. Okay, I'm not really using my arrows very well. I should honestly be hitting them with those. Hopefully he'll do another move where I can hit him with an arrow in a moment. 1, 2, 3, dash 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. It's a good move to hit with an arrow when he's dashing away from me, and this is another good move to hit with an arrow. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're using a turnaround animation cancel right there to do our damage faster. It gives us a few extra hits that we normally wouldn't be able to get there. 2, 3, 4, kill. There we go. Not too bad. Ended up using all of our arrows, so I don't feel too bad about not using those right away, and I don't feel too bad about getting that node. I'm still kind of confused how that one enemy died. I think he might have got shot. I think Yanlao might have shot that enemy, because I can't think of, like, anything he could have, like, touched that would have killed him. Because sometimes enemies will touch, like, a laser grid or something, and they'll explode. But, yeah. Thanks, giant claw machine, for killing my enemy. Goodbye, old man. It's kind of sad that you don't have more of a character. He's probably one of the least interesting characters in the game as well, so fits with the boss fight, I suppose. But all the boss fights from now are pretty exciting in my opinion. I like all of the remaining ones. So it looks like we are about a minute behind. That's interesting. I'm trying to, like, think if I did anything wrong between Xingtian and Yanlao. Like, maybe I just had really good RNG in my record. Maybe I hit transition skip? That doesn't save a ton of time, but it does save a little bit. Because I do... Maybe this isn't quite as long as I think, but I feel like this specific Soulscape is like 1 minute and 5 seconds because there's like a bridge at the end of it. So I'm curious if I lost time here, because I thought I played that Yanlao pretty well. Like, I could have done it maybe a little bit faster, but I felt like with the RNG I was given, there was not a whole lot I could have done there, so I definitely did lose a little bit of time. Looks like around 5 to 6 seconds. Maybe I got one cycle, the faster cycle on the gun maze, because if you can get a cycle that saves you like 6 seconds in the gun maze. Oh, Gichuan. Yes, challenge me to a battle. I will be there soon. I am going there right now. So we have entered the Gichuan Seal subsplit, and this is the worst subsplit in the entire run. It is by far the most punishing subsplit, and it's just really scary. It is not a very fun subsplit. So in a marathon, I would grab that save point, because that save point makes this a heck of a lot less scary. But I am not going to grab it right now, because I feel pretty confident that I can do this. But in a marathon, I would just be safe and grab that. It takes like another 5 to 6 seconds to grab it, because I don't have to save at it, I just have to grab it. Here is our first Jade we're collecting. This is Chio, the brother of that really annoying boss that I hated and decapitated. But don't worry, he's not mad about that. He knows that his brother isn't dead anyway. His brother is very powerful. He lives through getting decapitated. He's a very annoying boss. You can refight him later in the run if you want. It's a really sucky fight, though. It's my least favorite fight in the game. The only fight I dislike more than Xing Tian is the rematch with Xing Tian. So we set our spawn point to there. Now we have to not touch anything that we can spawn on. Hopefully I did that right. Take a potion, jump straight up, jump in the pit. And then we run into here before we die, because we want to be really low health for this. And we also grabbed ledge storage right there. So the reason we want to be low health for this is a made to lose fight. And it's just faster if he kills us in one hit. Additionally, we set up ledge storage, which you might remember breaks when I take damage. But a fun fact is that dying and taking damage are coded differently. So I did not take damage here. I have simply died. And therefore, I still have ledge storage, which will save me approximately 6 or so seconds in the next section. Because I can skip hacking a rope and then climbing it. I can just float over to where I have to go anyway. This is another really good time to answer questions and stuff, because this cutscene is super long. As a fun fact about this cutscene, though, this is the only cutscene in the game I can think of where animations play, and you can just still be holding the A button, and it doesn't force you to, like, re-press the A button. So that's pretty cool. Oh boy, I hope you like Metal Gear Solid torture scenes, because that's what we're going to be looking at for a while. And you're going to have to enjoy that sound effect, because that's going to play another 3 or so more times. Maybe even more than that. I think it plays 4 times total, though. Sorry, I got some gas bubbles stuck in my throat right now. Relatively good time for that to happen, at least, though. During a very boring cutscene. This is one of my least favorite cutscenes in the entire game. It's another one of those cutscenes where you have to keep hitting the A button in between animations. It's also just really long and leads into a really unfun section. So this next section is a stealth section in the video game, but we're not going to be doing any stealth in the section. We are simply going to be doing We're just gonna be running past everybody. That's it. No stealth here. There is no reason to stealth this stealth section. We can simply run through it. Now, we might be really slow, but they do allow us to still parry. So, that's what we got going for us. We can parry, and we can slash, and we can jump. And I guess we can grappling hook. But that's all we got going for us. We need to make sure we don't take any damage here, because we need to take damage in a moment. So there's a faster, easier way, well, a slower, easier way of doing this, where we just hack a door at the end of this section right there, which makes us not have to hack it in danger. Okay, good RNG. There we go. That's the first trick done. One more trick to go. I'll do that to spawn this guy here. Just being careful about that. Good RNG. If he throws your discus there, you can just do that. If he doesn't throw the discus, I have to manipulate him in a few other ways. But we have plenty of ways to manipulate this guy's AI at this point, so generally speaking, we can deal with that guy. So we are going to equip our Revival Jade finally. Our first Jade is now equipped. Heal up. Going to anger these guys, as we are going to set up a rope storage. Going to use our rope storage right here. And there is a boss to the left of us called Kang Hui, who really sucks and we don't like him. And we're not going to fight that guy because he's not a main boss. So we're just going to leave. This is going to cause some issues later in the run. But it is going to save us a lot of time because a lot of cutscenes get skipped by not fighting that guy. Alright, there is our rope storage. Once again. Whoopsie. Didn't mean to activate rope storage there. Simply just gonna run forward. So we're going to do a bow float here, and we're going to kill this one really annoying guy, which is this guy right here. Float over here. We're going to try to steal this item from right in front of this guy. Good try, buddy. You tried, Bradley. You tried, but not today. Activate all these little ropes. Use our dash to make sure we don't land in all those spikes at the bottom. Then we simply get our next ability. Look at that. We saved a ton of time because we got the good RNG in prison twice. Crazy. It's actually really crazy. This could actually still world record. That's actually nuts. I thought it was like impossible after how bad Kwafu and Warehouse were. But this still has a chance because the split after this one is a really big time save for me if I do everything correctly. It's just hard to do everything correctly because there's a whole lot of things coming up in the really long split. So this is a funny tutorial. It's a tutorial where they teach us about Unbound counter. I'm going to use Unbound counter a total of 0 times in this section. Yeah, look at that gold, baby. That is a good gold. We can simply cancel doing this tutorial by just shooting this guy 3 times with our bow. And then we will not have to show our Unbound counter. But seeing we haven't shown the Unbound counter at all, I should probably explain what our new ability does. So Unbound counter is a new type of parry. So in this game, there are normal attacks, Tai Chi kickable attacks where they glow green, and there are crimson attacks where they glow red. Crimson attacks are unblockable, as are Tai Chi kick attacks. However, this new parry allows us to block unblockable attacks. There are still a few things that go through it. Grabs go through it, which is pretty irrelevant except one boss. And second, had to time that. What else goes through it? I think the bombs go through it, like explosions and like some other stuff, but it's pretty weird. There's not very many things that can get through it, is the main point. So the way you do it is you hold down your parry button. It puts you into a vulnerable stance. When you let go of the parry button, you will be in a invulnerable stance for about 20 frames. And then you will then go into another vulnerable stance at the end. So we're finally going to be leveling up here. We're going to grab a whole bunch of levels for this next section. No reason to rest. We are doing fine. Holding up right there saves you a very brief amount of time where you don't have to jump between the two walls. I do need to explain a few more things, but I am going to try to focus through this next section real quick. This first part is a little spooky because I'm going to be on fire. And there's not a whole lot I can do about that problem because I have to wait for these dumb platforms. Do not dash, because dashing makes you take more damage while you are on fire for some reason. No thank you, buddy. Okay. So, first of all, we're going to see this fun cutscene with this mysterious seer in the background that we may have seen, although we barely saw him as we didn't actually talk to him in this run. We should have talked to him multiple times in a casual playthrough at this point. And Gichuan just being naked, and he has a very funny naked walk here. Unfortunately, they do cut it short on us, but it's a pretty funny animation if you ever get to see the whole thing. It's pretty great. So the new abilities we got are, one of them is our Unbound counter does damage when we reflect things with it. Now it does more damage. That is leverage, one of our abilities we got. Another ability we got is Unbound counter gives us 2 ki instead of 1. Another ability we got is waterflow style, which has to be equipped and is not currently equipped. And what that will do is it will allow us to, instead of having to hold down our talismans to detonate them, we can simply apply them and they will detonate automatically after a timer. These talismans cost more and do less, but we don't have to manually activate them. That is the trade-off. We are going to be using them on this upcoming boss and a few other bosses later, although we'll be using a better version of it for the other bosses. This is the only time we'll be using the bad version of waterflow. Oh, lost a little bit of cycle speed there. Means I might end up on fire if I can't get through this cycle quickly enough. Had to think about how to do that for a moment. Okay, well, that was kind of embarrassing. Guess we are not doing the vault. We're just gonna go up this way. It's a little bit of a time loss, unfortunately, but not a huge one. Take our last little potion here and get in the elevator. And the last thing we're going to do is once we get out of this elevator, we are going to switch to that water flow style that we got earlier. So we are going to open that up, swap to water flow, and then we're going to fight this boss. So if you have a specific item, you can use that terminal to the right to poison this boss, which causes him to take damage over time and also to just randomly stop and just leave himself super open to like cough up blood. We're not going to do that, though, because it's really slow to go get that item. We're going to get to see Gichuan's butt right there, but... Alright, then. So here's Gichuan. He's going to be the first kind of wall-type boss here, where he's a lot harder than the previous bosses. We're going to be using a lot of Unbound counter. Nope, we don't want to let him do that. That heals him and also gives him an annoying shield. And that move will like kill us in one hit even through our revive, so we gotta be careful about that one. There we go. Really good phase 1. We even have 2 arrows left. That's crazy. He was about to make us use another arrow, but he died, so... Practice my moon jumps. I'm gonna need those soon. Get those arrows out of the way. I was not expecting that. Oh wow, again? See ya, buddy. Very good Gichuan fight. I don't think I've ever had a better Gichuan fight than that. I think I missed like one talisman I could have landed on him. And I don't think that talisman I missed would have even mattered because he died at like a really specific timing anyway. Because it was in phase 1, and phase 1 ended like at a really perfect timing, so I think it wouldn't have really mattered if I hit that one talisman. See ya, buddy. This man ate too many Krabby Patties. See ya. His anchor arms were no match. He inflated them as much as he could, but they didn't matter. So I missed the vault, so I doubt I'm ahead, but I probably did get maybe some time here. I'm not sure. I actually did lose a lot of time on that fire cycle, but I had a really good Gichuan, so that helps make up for the really bad fire cycle. Oh no, Gichuan was bullied and then he became a horrible mass murderer and torture man. How sad. I hate this guy. This guy sucks. We're gonna be going to my favorite boss, at least casually, soon. Probably not my favorite boss for speedrunning, because the next boss is really RNG in speedrunning, which is pretty annoying. And I've been having this weird glitch where I just kind of phase through a hitbox sometimes during this one attack, and it makes me really upset every time that happens. Yeah, we're definitely not ahead. But I think we saved some time there. Like, that Gichuan fight was, like, really good feeling. The Gichuan zone wasn't the greatest, but the Gichuan fight, fantastic. Got a whole lot of time back. And if we play this next area right, we'll actually be ahead of world record, because this next area is the biggest time save in the run, as you can see there with that 49.25 second time save listed. So real quick, we're gonna grab these levels. Also gives us a little bit more damage. Do not touch that save point. Real bad idea. We're gonna click on this. Immediately, we are going to save and quit, which will take us back to our last save point. We clicked on that object because it allowed us to rewrite our checkpoint back to our last save instead of in that room where we got the seal. And now we have to run back. So in a normal run, you would just teleport back to Pavilion. Unfortunately, because we skipped that boss, one of the problems that has occurred from skipping that boss, Kang Hui is who I'm talking about, the one in prison, is that we no longer have the Return to Pavilion button, and we never will. So we are going to have to walk back to Pavilion, which is real unfortunate. It takes like 2 minutes to get back. However, skipping Kang Hui saves us approximately 3 minutes in Kang Hui plus cutscenes. So we do end up saving about a minute or so by skipping him. It does make a few other things a little less safe, although in a marathon I would do the safer version of them, which ends up losing a little bit of time, but it is just safer. Talk about those a little bit more as we get towards them. You may recognize this room that we went through backwards earlier in the run. We are now going through it correctly. The doors make a whole lot more sense coming from this side. Oh, almost forgot to do something. You need to switch to Key Blast. That's very important. You do not want to be on waterflow. Because waterflow takes 2 talismans to use, so it makes it worse to use for just platforming type situations. So if we were slightly short there, we could have used our talisman if we needed to. we're just going to keep running forward here. Don't want to forget picking up this stasis jade that we've left here since the very beginning of the game. Yeah, I don't know what that other floor is, because I think I only take this elevator one more time. Where does this elevator go? I cannot remember. Because it goes somewhere in between here and the floor I just came from, so I don't know. So unfortunately, we do have to go back to Pavilion here, as I said earlier. It's because we have to talk to Ruyi. What's really annoying is that we have to talk to Ruyi because I know where I'm supposed to go next, and it would be a lot faster if I could just walk to where I'm supposed to go next. But the game does not let me do that. So right here, we're going to get a few more skill points here. We're going to grab Enhanced Talisman and one more key boost. This will allow us to now hold 3 key. There are a few more key boosts on the tree, but we are not going to ever get enough levels to obtain them. This is pretty much as strong as we're going to be for a while.
Okay.
We are going to get another few level ups, but most of them are a bit later. Here we're going to grab ledge storage. Hopefully the jump / backwards weird moonwalk movement I've been practicing throughout the run in downtime areas like elevators is going to help me here, as this is where that trick is finally going to come in handy. The reason we are not doing the faster version of dashing here is because it has a chance of dropping ledge storage if I mess it up. And I really want to keep this ledge storage, so I'm just going to go slightly slower to make sure I keep it. But you could theoretically still be doing it if you were careful. For example, like if I had dashed off of that, like one of these staircases and done like a parry to move faster, I would lose ledge storage. Or if I hit parry too early or too late and I use it on the ground, I would lose ledge storage. So just trying to be careful about that. So here's where we needed our charge strike ability. This normally use charge strike to break these, but we got the charge strike ability on the bow so that we could break them that way instead. So this is a interesting zone. This is by far the most... This is like the game's weird platforming section. It's kind of like White Palace in Hollow Knight, where it's mostly just a bunch of platforming. There is a mini boss in here, but we are not going to fight him. We are going to skip that. And here is Lady Ethereal. She is unreasonably bouncy, as you will see in just a moment. I do not know why they animated her this way, but they did. So, okay then. We're going to try to do a skip right here. So the game wants us to talk to Lady Ethereal and take a bath with her and stuff, but we're going to skip that. This is called Hygiene Skip. Wait a little bit so that we make sure our cycle is okay. Just need to be a little careful here. Falling in this area doesn't, like, do anything bad casually, but it is a huge waste of your time. Especially depending on where you fall. But even falling in areas that are the lower waste of time, it's still a huge waste of time, so you need to be real careful. Also, as you may see right there, this area on this patch is not very well optimized. That's going to happen about 5 times or so in this zone. They are in preset areas, so I do know when the game is going to lag. So it's not like it's going to super surprise me when it happens. But be on the lookout for those. We skip a cycle right there. If you're not on the right cycle, you can do that talisman there to save a little bit of time. You need to make sure you pay attention to how many talismans you have while in this area, because one really annoying thing about this zone is that there's no HUD here. There is a HUD in one area of this zone, which is where the mini-boss is, but we are not doing that, so that's going to be irrelevant. We are never going to see our HUD in this section. We are going to just keep running forward. We luckily do not have to talk to Lady Ethereal in any of these scenes right now. We can use our dash plus talisman to get a fast cycle for this final part here, because this part is really slow if you do not get this cycle. 1 talisman. 2 talismans is what we are at right now, and we need to remember that. That saves 3 seconds and is really cool looking. I wish it saved more time. But that costed us another talisman because we used 2 and we got 1 back. Oh. So we're going to grab that. I actually think that wasn't where I needed to grab it. Maybe it was. I don't remember. So we should have another Lady Ethereal talk here. Yeah, okay, that was a fine place to grab it. Once again, we're going to slide up this wall with our moonwalk wall slide. We're doing this by jumping, holding the jump button, slashing, and then moving back during the slash. This allows us to not turn around, as if we turn around during it, we will break the trick. So I think I'm out of talismans now. I think. So we have 1 talisman. Little vault there saves 5 seconds. It's a nice little trick. Another one of those little lag spikes. Going to grab 1 extra talisman here. And this is normally where you would fight the mini boss. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab ledge storage, fall off, puts us back above the map. We use all of our dashes to go over the hitbox of the trigger, and then we just float away because there's no platform when there should be one. Going to activate these. So you don't actually have to activate any of these if you're really good at jumping, but I'm just playing it safe and activating them. It doesn't lose a ton of time to activate them, and it just makes your life way easier in terms of platforming. So that's why I like to do them. Oops, I actually need to grab ledge storage right here. Wasted a little bit of time. This is the final one of these skips. I call this one misogyny skip because we skip beating the tar out of Lady Ethereal. I do not like beating up Lady Ethereal. I like her character a whole lot. All right, so we have another skip right here. I'm going to use one of our remaining bows. Re-teleport. I'm just gonna float across here with our ledge storage. This saves like 0.5 seconds. It's absolutely amazing. Look at me go! What a massive time save that is. Anyway, hop up these things. Did a pretty bad job of it. The fastest way to wait for the fish here is to actually save quit the game and re-enter. Pretty funny that is the way to do it. It used to be falling, but due to some weird changes with live split, it actually is just faster to save quit now. There's a few times we do weird stuff like that where we do a really quick save quit. Let's make sure we get all of our key back. So now we should have 3 talismans again. Also, re-quitting has given us all of our bow back. So that's another bonus. I think we had 1 arrow remaining, but now we have 3 arrows again. Not a big deal, as I'm only planning to use 1 more arrow. But, you know, it's nice to know that you have it. Oop. Okay, this is the hardest remaining trick of this zone. So we have to touch these candles. We have to fall off the ledge here and immediately perform a bow float. Just like that. So we're going to float on over here and skip this whole fish section. It's a very slow auto-scroller on that one. So this one is also a really slow auto-scroller. I didn't actually need to use key there, and it would have been faster not to, so that was a little bit of a mistake. But it doesn't lose a whole lot of time doing that. Okay, I had to lose a little bit extra time because I got scared that I wasn't going to make that jump. But we should be safe now. And this time we're just gonna fall. So this is the last auto-scrolling section we have to deal with. We are going to follow the fish for about half of this auto-scroller. Come on, fish. Let us go. And right here, we're going to see our big jump coming up. Coyote jump, 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 jump. Mash the interact button, and there you go. We are up here. It looks like we are actually on world record pace now. See the final few memories of Lady Ethereal as her wife is choking her. Everyone's congratulating her for such a job well done, even though everybody died. Now we're gonna get to see Big Sad Lady. Hello, Big Sad Lady. How are you doing? Big Sad Lady is having an identity crisis. So this character is based on an ancient Chinese story of a person that dreamed they were a butterfly, but couldn't tell if they were a person dreaming they were a butterfly or a butterfly dreaming they were a person. Like, they couldn't tell which of the worlds was reality and which of the worlds was a dream. And that's what this character is based around. You're gonna see that a lot more when you see her costume that she is in her crazy mode. We would have seen it earlier if we didn't if we didn't perform misogyny skip and prevent us from beating the crap out of her. But we will see her now that we're going into the boss fight. That she has a very butterfly themed outfit. This is the most RNG boss fight of the entire game. So hopefully it goes well. Essentially, she goes between ranged and melee attacks, and we want her to be doing melee attacks, and we don't want her to be doing ranged attacks. And that is how this boss is gonna go. Every time she does a melee attack, thumbs up. Every time she does a ranged attack, thumbs down. Time losses when she does ranged, time saves when she does melee. So let's see how this goes. Hello, Lady Ethereal. Gonna be using Unbound counter a whole lot, by the way. Good start. That should be phase 1. Her phase 1, as you may have noticed, has abysmally low HP. She actually still has like 25% more than Gomang, though. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. She was that one. I'm gonna let it go. Ooh, bad luck. Now I need to find her quickly. Okay, that was pretty good. That actually made up for a lot of the mistakes we had. Okay, double ranged. There she is. Okay, she should go back into melee now. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Ugh, there she is again. There she is. One more phase should do it. Where are you, lady? There you are. She really chose the long melee phase there. She really didn't want to show up. She was like the 6th clone. All right, let's heal up. Final phase. This is a 3-phase boss, baby. Now there's 7 of her. Good news is I can now tell which one she is without punching them. There she is. She's doing a big spirit bomb. Ow. Wait. That's fine. Oof, my timing is weird. Nice. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Thank goodness I didn't die to this lady. She's... Dying to her is really bad. I mean, you just have to redo the fight, but the fight's kind of long because she's a 3-phaser. She has a lot of animations. Be nice to Lady Ethereal. I like being nice to Lady Ethereal. I don't think it loses me any time, but maybe it loses me a frame or two. I don't know. So here is the second longest cutscene in the game. I like to refer to this as the bathroom break cutscene. This is when you can get up, stretch, eat, go to the bathroom. It's a few minutes long. Right now, you still can't get up. You have to wait a little bit longer, but we have to wait until Yi punches his tablet. Technically, slightly before he punches his tablet, but once he punches his little weird tablet-y thing, you can get up and do whatever you want. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of stretching right here once he punches this. Yep, now we're good. This is obviously a very good time to answer questions and stuff, but I'm just going to be doing a little bit of stretching. It's also nicely around an hour into the run, which is around when you should get up if you listen to doctors and so. You don't want to be sitting down forever. Do some squats, some stretches. I'm not going to walk away here because this is an audition tape thing. But there's not a whole lot to say here. Yi is really dead. That's something. This is the childhood accident previously mentioned that is why he is still child-sized. They had to rebuild him stronger, faster, with a Jade Iron Man heart. And covered in Fusang. Alright, sit back down. Curious if I saved or lost time on that Lady Ethereal. I think I should have saved time, as I believe in my previous Lady Ethereal, I glitched through her at one point and just lost an entire cycle of damage, and that was horrifically bad. So, like, it was a very big time loss to lose so much damage, because she had a lot of internal damage when I phased through her, and it was really sad. So yeah, looks like we're a really good pace right now. Get a quick little phone call here. Let's see how fast we can do this menuing for double jump. Oh, the game froze for a moment. I might not be able to get gold. Mash! Mash! Mash like your life depended on it! Keep mashing! We need that double jump! We need the double jump! I'm mashing as hard as I can! Alright. Let's see if we got gold double jump. I've been getting... I just need to keep working on my save quits. I need to be doing them faster and faster. This is our last upgrade we're getting of the game. Or last normal upgrade. We are going to be collecting one more Jade. But this is our final upgrade here. The double jump. One of the most useful upgrades in the game. And funnily enough, this is pretty much the only category that picks it up. But man, is it useful to have. But most categories don't grab it because it's just a huge pain in the butt to get this ability. You have to beat Lady Ethereal to get it, and to beat Lady Ethereal, you have to beat Gichuan, and to beat Gichuan, you have to do Prison, and to do Prison, you have to beat Gomang, Kwafu, and one other boss. Interestingly enough, it is just one other boss, and not specifically Yanlao, which you think it would be. But yeah, it's a pretty strange situation. And it takes a lot of time for other categories to get this ability, where for us, it doesn't take any time because we have to fight Lady Ethereal. I can't believe this is actually world record pace. This is stupid. My dreamscape is so bad in the world record, and the world record was before we had better AI manipulation on Prison, which saves a lot of time too. All right, one more conversation with Lear here. This conversation isn't too bad, but it is kind of long. So we just hold down the button here. So we're going to be setting up a new glitch. This is why we picked up the Stasis Jade. So we're going to be setting up a glitch called Teleport Menu Storage. And we're going to trick the game into thinking we have access to the teleport menu when we do not. That is our trick we are going to do. And it is a kind of confusing trick. I'll try to explain it, but this is definitely a trick that's probably easier to explain by someone who's not actively playing it at the time, because it goes kind of fast. So first we're going to go into the Jade menu, and we're going to error the Jade menu at the same time we switch to the Stasis menu. I accidentally scroll wheeled, so I broke it. Try that again. Let's not accidentally scroll wheel. Switch to waterflow. B button, teleport. We need to click on this. My mouse is like upside down. Should be good. And now we leave. Sorry, that went really slow because something is like pulling on my mouse cord and it's making it really hard to use. Luckily, I don't have to use the mouse anymore for the rest of this run, so that should not be a problem. Probably just lost me 3 or 4 seconds messing with that. So we're gonna go back over to Gomang's area. And this time we're going to be going to... Yeah, what is pulling on this? Like, it's really stuck. I need to mess with my cords later, apparently. I'm going to be going through this area one more time here. This time we are going to grab that save point we skipped. It would have been nice if we could have grabbed the save point earlier. It does save a little time to do that, but we couldn't because otherwise we would have had to talk to G, which would have taken too much time and it would have made things kind of awkward. So we just touched that. We're not going to go into any menus. Going into menus is currently really dangerous because we have teleport menu storage. So we're going to climb up here. We're going to grab a quick ledge storage because now we can store ledge storage with double jump, which makes it really easy to store ledge storage. Double jump is by far the easiest way to store ledge storage. Dash is pretty good, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And talisman is real weird. So here's Sky Tower. We're going to be climbing this by using triple jumps. So with our double jump and ledge storage, whoops. With our double jump and ledge storage, we can do some stuff. Our ledge storage will refresh our double jump when we activate it. So just like that. And we are going to jump up here. Save a little bit of time there. Keep on climbing with our triple jumps, always getting us just that little bit of extra height we need to climb this zone. Grab this final Dow fruit. Last Dow fruit of the run, I believe. And we will continue onward. Going to skip that save point. It's not overly important. Although I did lose a run earlier to some very unfortunate things that happened involving that save point, so maybe it would be worth grabbing, but generally speaking, I can just get this next save point because it's really not that far away. Basically, every room in this game has a save point. You just have to know where it is and whether you can actually get to it, as sometimes that can be difficult. You have these little grind rail things in this area. We are just going to be dashing across them because it's just a little bit faster than using them normally. And we are going to go in the menu here, so we have to be careful. So we're going to go into skills. We're going to level up enhanced water flow, and we're going to leave with the select button and not the B button. If you leave with the B button, horrible things will happen. But we should have a safety save, I assume. If I ran this, I would have a safety save for teleport menu storage if I accidentally break it, because it's really easy to make a save for that, and it does not actually, like, you don't lose any gameplay. Like, I would just play to the area I would normally teleport from, and then I would just be like, and this is the part where I would teleport, and I just load the save that is already where I should be teleporting to. Alright, so here's Grotto Skip. This is a pretty annoying one. Let's see if we can get this. Okay, that was a little unfortunate. That guy shooting us broke our storage is what happened there. I'm actually going to take a quick heal here. So hopefully I didn't change my respawn. If we didn't, we will teleport up top. Okay. Oh my god. Almost died to this annoying ball enemy. I really don't like that guy. Normally I would not use this save point, but we are going to use this save point because I really screwed up. In a marathon I would use this save point though. So we're gonna keep moving forward then. We want to open this door before fighting G, so that if we mess up the jump after fighting G, we don't have to keep opening this door. And we're going to head our way into G now. Oh wow, we actually still saved time on Divine Hand despite losing ledge storage and having to go back and get it. So that's pretty cool. This is probably my favorite boss in the speedrun. Also, very cute character. I absolutely love G. He is a silly guy. Look at this little guy. I thought G was a stoat when I played this game the first time. I mean, like, look at him. He's got like a very stoaty face and he's all long and stuff. I just thought this guy was a stoat, not a cat. As I said, about half of the souls I had the wrong animal clocked casually because I didn't realize all the characters were cats in this game. Ooh. Damn, we're gonna lose a little bit of damage there. Oh my god. Okay, well, this is why we make the safety, huh? A very bad phase 1. Because he should be dead by now. Oh, I was hoping I could get those parries there. Would have helped a little bit. Actually, I don't think it would have mattered a whole lot. All right, so we're going to cancel this black hole attack immediately with an arrow because it's really annoying and slow. That is the most dangerous attack he has. That move will one-shot me. Funny stun lock that you can do to G if you do a Tai Chi kick into a or a Unbound counter into a talisman into a Tai Chi kick. Doing a few jump cancels to just get a little bit of extra damage. So yeah, G's mechanic is he spins these orbs and I can essentially choose what his attacks are. That attack that I keep choosing is the one that gives me health or arrows. So it's a mostly beneficial one. I'm not overly sure if it's the actual right answer a lot of the time, though. Ooh, ow. Oops. Luckily, I don't think that actually loses any time for this specific situation. There we go. Perfect. So we probably lost some time there. That was a pretty bad G. I'm curious how much time I lost, because I feel like my G is very optimized in my world record, and I just kind of sloppily played this one. This is by far the least RNG boss of the entire game. He's very consistent. So I know like exactly when this boss should die, where other bosses I'm like, yeah, I don't know, maybe they should be dead by now. But G, I'm just like, oh man, he should be dead by now. I messed up. So it looks like we did lose like half of our time on that fight, unfortunately. Hopefully some of that time was like opening the door and stuff, but it's a little unfortunate. We did have some problems getting up the G from the Divine Hand. Then we also just didn't fight G very well. But either way, we didn't die to G, and that is the most important thing here. Not like we're trying to, I mean, I am trying at this point to get world record, but it's not like that was the goal that I was going for here. So I have to play pretty much flawlessly for the rest of the run if I want to get world record. So that's going to be pretty rough. We only have like 30 spare seconds. So screwing up minor skip badly is probably just an immediate fail. And minor skip is one of the hardest jumps in the entire run that we're going to be doing next up. So minor skip is going to be a combination of rope storage and a combination of spawn point manipulation, where we are going to try to keep our spawn point at the top of the room. And if we can keep our spawn point at the top of the room, we will be allowed to essentially, what am I trying to think of here? We'll be able to respawn up there, obviously. And then once we spawn up there, we can then use our rope storage that we grabbed to go through a door that is in our way. And that is what we are going to be trying to do here. And luckily, we already opened this bridge, so we can just run across this. And do we have any key on us, or are we out of key? We are out of key, so I do have to grab one extra key, unfortunately. So we're going to grab one key, wait a moment, grab the rest of the key. That's fine. Hopefully I didn't hit too far forward there. As long as you hit the corner, it should be fine. I'm just not entirely sure I hit close enough to the corner on that first corner. We're going to find out, though, and I'm going to be real sad if I didn't. This area, I'm allowed to touch the ground because it's a laser field, and the game considers this an unsafe zone. I'm allowed to touch the corner here. I'm allowed to touch this doorway. Another corner. Aggro this guy. And let's see. There we go. Perfect. Not too bad. Only a very minor mistake. Dodge these, avoid the dog. I think I timed... Oh, I didn't time that wrong. I thought I did that too early. We use our bow to abuse invincibility frames to be able to get in the elevator before the damage hits us and respawns us. So we can prevent ourselves from having to turn off all of the acid that we normally would be forced to turn off. As we enter this zone here, Imperium. Let's see if we can hit this jump quickly. Have a pretty tricky jump right here. And one try. Fantastic. Just keep using our triple jumps to scale areas faster so we don't have to wait for anything. So this area is normally supposed to be kind of a spooky area, which is why we're not going to see a whole lot of enemies here. This is going to be the main introduction of the zombie-type enemies, the mutants. The mutants are essentially our weird cat people, our Solarians, except they have been mutated into invincible, gross monsters that just attack us. They're very angry. So here they are. These are the big ones. They have contact damage, which is really annoying. There's also little ones that can spit acid and jump at you. Their jump at you hitbox is terrible, by the way. It's really annoying. And yes, so this seal we actually just get for free. Because the soul for this seal is already dead. This is Fushi's backstory. The soul that should be in charge of this zone Instead, his twin sister is currently leading the zone because he has died. And she is in denial about his death and doing a bad job leading the zone because she's just kind of freaking out and trying to party her troubles away. So we're going to talk to her in a moment. Good stretch. That's what Fushi should look like if he was still alive. He is a giant 11-foot tall cat man. Makes our tiny 3-foot tall cat man look incredibly tiny in comparison. So this is the only phone call that you can't hold down the button when you see the ringing, because you can actually still move during the ringing, so that doesn't work. You have to actually wait for the phone call to be answered. So there's his twin sister, Nua. She's going to give us the seal. She doesn't really care. She's doing what she wants to do, which is having a party. And making Yi really pissed off because he's like, how the hell can you be partying? Everybody's dead! What are you doing? Alright, yeah, I think I didn't open the door probably on my other run because I saved time there. And I should probably have not saved that much time there, especially because I messed up minor skip slightly, and I don't think I messed up minor skip in the world record. So I'm guessing I did not open the door before grabbing the G seal. One more hang cutscene for now. There's one more hang cutscene at the very end that we're going to get to. But here we are grieving the loss of our parents, or Yi is grieving the loss of our parents. Hang is trying to be optimistic about it, which kind of pisses Yi off pretty bad. Ticks him off. Not happy about it. Yi is very not religious. So her religious things with Taoism and such just kind of make him angry. He ends up yelling at her. Yi, stop yelling at your sister. She's just trying to be good. Alright, so we're gonna use that ledge storage we stored to jump up here. Grab ledge storage again. Grab ledge storage again. So if I was, for safety, we're gonna grab this, but generally speaking, I would not grab this in a world record run, and I would just jump up here. And even though this still has the potential to be a world record run, so maybe I shouldn't have grabbed it, this is meant to be an audition thing, and I really don't want to, like, lose a bajillion hours. Okay, so I need to be real careful here. I do need to remember to use my teleport menu storage before killing Fushi. So I need to be really careful. Once I think I can kill Fushi, I'll do it. If I think Fushi's gonna kill me, I won't do it, because if I get killed by Fushi, I just teleport back here and that's fine. That's why we grab that node as safety. Because as long as we have that node, we can just come back here. But if we don't have that node, we have to go a real long distance to get back here, and it's pretty painful. So a lot of this fight is just trying to get Fushi to hit Unbound counters, because he's pretty bad at aiming. Had to cancel that Unbound counter because I was going to be vulnerable. Ugh, I accidentally let him do that attack. You don't want him to do that attack. That attack sucks. Wastes a ton of time. Okay, this is a pretty sloppy Fushi phase 1, but that should be it. Alright. Didn't take any actual damage, so we should just heal up here. Oh, wait, he didn't attack me. Yeah, I was gonna say, that means snakes are coming. Are you doing the 2-hit move? No. Ow. I didn't think he was doing that. Gotta turn around to parry that if you're not unbound countering. You gotta be careful. Oof. Uh-oh. Wait for it. Bow, pause, return to menu. Alright, everything should have been set up there. I changed my spawn point back to Pavilion. And that should set me to the checkpoint after he's dead. So I did a pretty bad job using my bows there. I should have used more of them. But he didn't do the attack I normally save my bow for. And one of the other attacks he used the bow for, I would normally go for. I didn't really see a good time to go for it. Looks like we're still about 20 seconds ahead here. So it looks like we didn't really gain or lose a whole lot of time. It was a pretty sloppy Fushi, though. Oh yeah, also I thought these two were goats because of those stupid ears on the costume. So I thought those were horns on their head and not ears. And then I thought that the ears were the costume where they have ears on it. Like, you can see Fushi here has a really good example where I thought that was a goat. Also, because Nua's feet are broken because they are in, like, a foot binding, it makes it look like she has cloven hooves if you just, like, don't see it super well. Because you can't actually, like, see her toes. So I didn't realize that was her foot being, like, broken in half, and it was actually, like, I didn't realize it was her foot being broken in half, and I just thought it was, like, her having cloven hooves. Alright, yeah, we're like 15 seconds ahead then. I think exactly 15 seconds ahead. Look at that. Look at that knowing timings. Alright, so this is what we need out of this boss, is this Tianhuo Serum. We're going to save quit because it's actually going to reload us on the right side of the room. Well, the right side of the room we were in, which is going to skip a little phone call that I will not have to answer because they'll ask me about the serum. So this is where we're going to do a death warp. I'm going to take a bunch of damage from Fushi. I can't actually die in this room, so I need to leave this room now. Also, I think a lot of that time I lost was using the node, as that is a node I normally wouldn't use. And we're gonna dash right into this guy, killing us. And that should put us right back in Pavilion. Oh wait, I do have to use the mouse one more time. Ugh. Gosh darn it. Maybe I can figure out what it's stuck on during this next cutscene. Okay, I think it's at least not upside down now. I think I probably lost a little bit of time in this cutscene messing with that, but it's gonna save me some time when I have to use the mouse. because I'm gonna have to use the mouse after these next like 2 cutscenes here. We are developing the way of killing the mutant enemies, because we need to be able to kill the mutant enemies to get into the final zone, as there are some of them that form walls, and we need to get past them. Yeah, I lost like a second messing with the mouse. Okay, now we need to set up this glitch again. Same thing as before. Switch over, highlight, B, teleport, click. This time we actually are teleporting though, so we use our jade this way, and then we use that to teleport. And now we can use nodes to teleport, even if they're not this node. And we're going to use that to save about 2 minutes, and also so that we can fight Ying Zhao. Yeah, I bet you thought I forgot about Ying Zhao. He's still around. We didn't kill that guy yet. Ow! Rude. Gonna say, don't I need ledge storage? But that's not yet. I get ledge storage in a moment. Ledge storage is obtained in this room. Also, another reason we need the upgraded bow is to blow that in half. Ow. Please fall, ye. I would like to go down. Okay, grabbing ledge storage quick. Saves us a little bit of time if we have ledge storage going into this next area. Gonna use it to perform a vault. Well, a triple jump, really, which is kind of a vault. 2, 3, 4, 5, dash. Oh, I messed it up. Well, goodbye, ledge storage. Guess I'll just heal then. That's the backup way of doing it. Wish I could have Unbound countered that guy. Somebody attack me? Thank you. Ow. Whatever. Now that I think about it, I don't need any more key. That was a waste of time trying to do that. And down we go. So that's why we needed Mutant Buster. It also helps with a few other things, but that was the reason we actually needed it. Like, if you didn't have it, it would make a few sections of this game really annoying. Boop, 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 boop. All right, we're finally entering the last area. We are not going to grab this node because the chance of dying at this node is so incredibly small. Because we're going to get a forced checkpoint anyway when we get to the end of this room, and we don't fight anything in this room. So realistically, getting killed here is very uncommon. I'm not saying I've never seen it happen, but it's pretty rare, especially if you're like swag dashing. Because swag dashing makes it really hard for these enemies to hit you. What did I use a bow for? I don't remember shooting my bow. Oh yeah, I broke the wall. I remember now. So yeah, those guys are scary. But because of swag dashing, they pretty much can't hit you, so. And here we go into the final, well, not the final cutscene, but the last extremely long cutscene of the game. Probably the longest cutscene, except maybe ending cutscenes. Is the Agong Soulscape cutscene right here. Curious how much time I lost, as I did mess a few things up. I didn't get my Unbound counter that I wanted, which then made me have to get Unbound counter key and some stuff like that. But it probably only lost like 5 seconds or so. And I can save time on Agong if I do her well in one try. She's really difficult, though, so we'll see. Hello, Agong. Sensei.
Se
How are you doing?
tenuri laita.
教姑，
No, Sensei! Ah, you betrayed me again! How could you take all of my things? Those were my things!
윤세 미왕.
Curse you, Sensei! Curse you in actually planning things! It's the meme! He did it! He did the meme! Yeah, about around 5 more seconds lost. It was more like 4 for messing up that Unbound counter thing with the parry and stuff. I probably could have only lost like 1 second if I didn't randomly waste time trying to get more ki for no reason. I don't know why I tried to do that. It was not very important. I guess it would have helped in the hallway, but eh. Oh, she's really gonna tick off Yi now. Stop making your sister cry, Yi. It makes me sad. I'm sorry, Hang. My teacher stabbed me in the face, and I died. And then I was in stasis for 500 years in a wall. I'm sorry. But yeah, this is the part that you would normally get up and stretch some more if you wanted to. Another long cutscene here. We're getting closer to the end of it. We just need that sun to set. Also, Kwafu's not allowed in this. This is the party for only dead souls, or souls that have died. Yi does qualify as a person who has died. I did death warp over here, and my mentor did stab me in the face. Alright, 2 more difficult things and 1 medium difficulty thing. Let's see if we can do it. Be crazy if we could actually get world record on this. It's gonna be real hard. I know that my Agong is a little slow, but I also know that Agong is an extremely difficult boss. So we'll see how it goes. Two more bosses to go and 1 really crappy arena fight. Can we do it? Misu! You're finally awake. Caught you crossing the border. Out of my way. Die, scum! Okay. Recovered that situation. That was a little scary. Where'd the samurai? All right. Oh, that's bad. My health is very low. Okay. Doing okay, doing okay. Good. Stop vomiting at me, please. Great, great. Almost done. Okay, let's not die to that. Okay, should have most of my key. And how many arrows? Ooh, okay. I'm missing. I can't do it. I need to have another talisman. Unfortunate. It's gonna lose me a little bit of time. If I had one more talisman, I could have done it. I should have paid more attention to how many talismans I had. Over the top. Grab those. And here we go. Hey, Ying Zhao, I'm back. Bet you missed me. Can't believe that hit me. I don't love that. All right, see ya, buddy. I'm gonna have to take the risky strat if I want to go for world record here. Oh wait, I can't. Oh well, I'm just gonna have to do Aegon really fast then. I didn't switch to Divine Hand before Ying Zhao, I forgot. That was the other thing I was supposed to do. Whoopsie. I've never had to do that strat before, so I forgot about it. Saves you like 8 seconds. Gonna be close. Gonna be close. All depends on Agong. Final boss upcoming. This boss is extra scary because I don't get to use Revival Jade against her. We have to turn off our Revive because we need a new ability, the Divine Hand, which allows us to Unbound counter into Unbound counter. But this makes it harder to do, say, Unbound counter into parry, because now doing an Unbound counter into a parry will just register as doing 2 Unbound counters, which then will leave us vulnerable, so it's pretty scary. Alright. We are here at the end of the game. Can we world record this run? Matey! I definitely can save 6.6 seconds on Agong. It depends on whether I can do this in one try and whether she's nice to me, though, and whether I can do optimal strats. Because optimal strats are pretty scary. We did save time not having to level up, though, so that probably saved us a few seconds. So it's probably not 6.6 we have to save. Because normally I don't level up before Ying Zhao, because normally I don't use my talismans correctly. But I apparently just needed to grab one more talisman before I set things up, which is a little unfortunate. I guess I have to make sure I don't ever kill that third guy with a talisman, so that I have 3 talismans going in. Because then I can talisman that guy, and then I can avoid the other ones. Alright, Agong, let's go. Oh, I missed that immediately. I didn't think she would open with it. Come on, Agong, you crazy lady. Oh my god. There we go. Having a lot of trouble hitting her there. Let's just go to full. I missed the talisman there. Oh, I missed an Unbound counter there. Okay, this one. Fine. Okay. World record, baby! Woo! We did it! With commentary! Normally I gotta not be talking to lock in as hard as possible, but we can still do it. Only a few mistakes in there. I don't remember what we messed up. Minor skip problem. Oh, really bad beginning. That's what we messed up. We had a terrible start. Ah, final cutscene. Unfortunately, bad ending because we didn't do all the nice things for Sean. But let us go. We have collected all 9 other souls, all 10 souls total, because we are one of the souls, if you didn't put that together. We can go back to our home planet of Penglai. Leave this stupid planet that we're orbiting Earth. Technically, we're orbiting the sun around Earth, but we're going back to Penglai. We did it. Incredibly minor time saves, go. Well, at least the early game's gonna look great when I run PBs against this. Goodbye, Hang. We will miss you. Goodbye, Hang. Now we walk. We walk through the fields of our fallen Solarians. Through Penglai, the desolate planet that used to be beautiful, full of archipelagos and high-tech cat structures. You can't imagine the cat trees, the litter boxes. They were far more advanced than anything you could imagine. These were some very technologically sophisticated kitty cats. And now they must go. The end is here. We go through our power supply. We go through whatever this room is. We go through the brain room where we're still decapitating all of the ape men and using their brains to charge the pods for our fallen Solarian brothers and sisters. For we have basically just become Aegon 2.0. Except we have taken in these ape men as pets, which makes us kind of also like Gaomeng 2.0, who might theoretically still be here on that space station somewhere. Also, I assume Kwafu's here somewhere. He's not in this ending. Yes, let us play a board game. Could you imagine if you could play board games with your pets? That'd be kind of sick, wouldn't it? Now, unfortunately, you would be in this world where you also have to go around and decapitate random feral cats constantly, and then use their brains to harvest your crypto sleep pods. But, you know, beyond that, it'd be pretty cool. Man, I wish True Ending was a more fun category. We need a cutscene skip so bad for True Ending to be fun. Well, so this ending theme is awesome. So I'm going to be done talking from now on so I can listen to this sweet ending theme. But thank you for listening. I hope this audition finds you well. And hopefully you think that this game is worth running. This is my favorite category of this game because it fights all the bosses, and I feel like this is a very boss-related game. So I like seeing the bosses, and I like seeing the fact that this run doesn't cheese any of the bosses except arguably Ying Zhao, who we fight super late in the game. Which isn't really cheese, but you could kind of consider it that way if you wanted. Anyway, yeah. Hope all of you GDQ people do well. And have a great day. I'll see you at GDQ, and hopefully I'll see you as a runner and not just a participant.